Welcome back, Talk Family, and thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Talk the Talk. I'm your host. My name is Ipeleng Mabusela, and joining me today is Ipeleng Mabusela. Am I pronouncing that?
That's correct, yeah.
And he is the CEO of the Retail Motor Industry Organization, also known as the RMI. So, Ipeleng sits at the intersection of industry policy and society with a clear vision to strengthen standards, support small businesses, build skills, and drive collaboration that goes beyond competition. With over a decade of experience spanning engineering, operations, strategy, and investment, his journey has taken him across mining, oil and gas, consulting, and now the automotive sector. In his current role, Ipeleng leads the strategic direction of the RMI alongside the board and associations, while overseeing key areas including labor, finance, public relations, communications, and training, backed by a strong and experienced team. And I must say, a lot of this team is made up of women.
Absolutely.
And I love that about the RMI. Hence, I'm always involved with their assignments and their projects. So he continues to play a pivotal role in shaping the future of the automotive aftermarket as well in South Africa. Without further ado, let's welcome Ipeleng, and as always, this interview is proudly brought to you by Seriti Solutions and MFC, a division of Nedbank. Hello, Ipeleng.
Hi, Dish. Thank you for having me, and hi to your viewers. I'm honored to be at the show.
Was I on point with your introduction?
It is a very nice introduction. Sometimes when you hear an introduction about yourself, you're like, "Oh, really? That's me." So yeah, definitely on point. And you're right about the team being a lot of women. I was actually, as you said, I counted it. Thought, okay, my exco is 50% women actually.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you lead by example.
Absolutely.
And I was very nervous. I must say, I never ever rehearse an introduction. I just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I was not intimidated, but wanted to be on point, and precision needs to be there because it is you. You are an important figure in the motoring industry. You are high profile. I believe that. And I thank you for mobilizing this movement of men supporting women and being part of that. So thank you so much for that.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so Ipeleng, let's begin. Let's start by you telling us about your journey and where this all started and moments that really shaped the leader that you are today.
No, thanks for that question, Desh. So I grew up in a place called Garankuwa. That's in Pretoria, just north of Pretoria. Been traveling to school at 4:30, 5:30 every morning, 2-hour drive. And I think that created a lot of grit and determination in my view of the world and how I manage things and how I deal with things. But most importantly, my parents, who've been married 51 years now, they grew up as a team, as a partnership. Right? So that's where I saw that we cannot have a society where there's an imbalance between men and women. Even today, my parents are still a team. I was at home on Sunday with my wife and the kids and my siblings. And even today, they still have nice, robust debates about all the things that they need to do. So I grew up with having a view of women as equally empowered, if not more powerful. My parents were both high school principals. My mom is a reverend. So she's a very strong personality. She's a leader. So I grew up with that view of women. My sisters, all of them are leaders in their own right, whether it's in business or in government, and my twin sister as well.
Oh, you're a twin?
I have a twin sister.
Oh, that's great.
I have a twin sister. And I guess it went all the way also to therefore the wife that I'm with, the woman that I ended up choosing to be with, is also a leader in her own right. So for me, it's it's natural for me to see the world that way in terms of women, and it's natural for me to want to fight where I can, in spaces where I can fight for women, for equality, and especially, of course, throughout my career, but also in the sector. And in terms of just, the things I did and studied, I studied engineering because, when you're in school and they give you all these options and you do aptitude tests, mine just said, look, you kind of can do anything you want. So I thought, what's the broadest thing I could do, and what's the most intellectually interesting thing? Hence engineering. So I spent a lot of my career in engineering, and then I wanted to do something more strategic. So hence I did strategy consulting. But I wanted to do something impactful. Hence I worked for a fund that funded Black businesses in the auto sector. And now, of course, at the RMI, can influence policy at a broader scale for the sector as a whole.
So it's funny that you say aptitude test has determined that you are engineering minded. My aptitude tests always ended up in either debate or journalism.
Makes sense.
I guess because I talk so much. But Ipeleng, you said to me before the interview, be yourself.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so I think it's leading in that direction, because my mother-in-law and father-in-law are married this year. In fact, we're going for the anniversary in 2 weeks' time for 50 years.
Wow.
And they have an equal partnership. My father-in-law for 40 years worked for Toyota, and he educated me in terms of what's under the bonnet. He was in quality control. So the knowledge that I have derived from that, or that I've obtained from that relationship, is what made me one of the first African female motoring journalists to own these platforms.
Amazing. Yeah.
So that's and I'm so glad there's two of you. There's twins. So I sharing a womb and then sharing an upbringing, I'm pretty much sure that she is a person like you that appreciates women. Look, a lot of men come here, and most of them are screened and vetted, and I thoroughly examine, are they really doing this because they want to promote women and invite women into the motoring industry, or are they doing this to get more leads?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're the first man this year that's the first and last in the studio, because we have this organization has grown so huge. We've reached over 40 million people globally.
Wow.
I was going to say countrywide, but it's now globally. And it still remains the only movement in the world. So we appreciate you and you endorsing us year after year and time after time, and making yourself available for us.
No, it's truly an honor as well. And I think, before we started the interview, I said to you, it's so important that we that women themselves take the lead in leading themselves and leading each other, and that I think the work you do is so phenomenal and so important. If we don't have the conversations, if we don't open things up, if we don't give young people exposure to the sector, of course, but even to just broader types of work in the country, then we will find ourselves not being able to make the impact we want to see.
Absolutely. And in an industry that's constantly moving and evolving, Ipeleng, what is it that keeps you inspired and grounded in your vision? Because it's difficult.
No, it is difficult. I mean, lots of moving parts, to your point, wage negotiations with unions, policy work with government, trying to make sure that organization still runs, board meetings and all of that, sitting on other boards. I think the most important thing is values. If you're clear on what your values are, and if you're clear on what drives you, if you're clear on what gets you up every morning, then that becomes a good anchor. It helps you, when things get choppy, when the waters get choppy, as they say, to be intentional and to be clear on what you're trying to achieve. And I think even, with my teams, when I work with my teams and I deal with my teams, I bring that as well, which is being your authentic self. Including things like, giving the team exposure. So I'll say to one of my teams, okay, we're going to this board meeting. we're going to present you're going to present this item, right? Especially the women or the younger people in the team, and then they sometimes they're a little bit worried about it. I say, you're going to be fine. Let's practice. Let's rehearse.
Right.
Ask them the questions, and then in the meeting they can do their thing. And if things go south a little bit, I'm there to catch them, right? And it's important that, like I've said, if you're anchored on values about helping people and empowering people, then I think it goes a long way to keep you grounded.
Absolutely. And this is a very important question for me to ask you. So you have since joined the RMI. Before you, we had other representatives also that were in your position. And then our ambassador, who was the CEO for the RMI for 13 years, Jeff Osborne, is he's a huge supporter of the RMI still. But the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards is such a unique platform, and you've made your presence now for 2 consecutive years, and it's going to be the 3rd. So since you joined RMI, and still, it's the only, like I said, globally focused, awards purely for women in the sector. From your perspective, why do platforms like this matter so much? Why is it necessary?
I think they're absolutely crucial in a couple of ways. The first one is, if you can't see yourself in the places you want to be, it's very difficult to be inspired to get there and to believe that you can get there.
Right.
So it's absolutely critical that we showcase the talents that exist in the sector, to celebrate the women that exist in the sector and in all their diversity, right? And then secondly, it's absolutely critical that we celebrate each other as well, and we celebrate women, right? As men, to also be there to celebrate women, right?
Well, there's 70% of our audience that are men, and we're hoping that's going to change.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely, right? That we need to be there to celebrate not only the fancy roles and the nice titles, but also the titles and the roles that actually keep the sector literally moving, right? The technicians, the people at a dealership that welcome you, all of those people are critical for the functioning of the sector. And I think women in particular, in general, if you're calling somewhere, it will be women. And interestingly enough, I was talking to some of our members, which spans across the entire auto sector, and they said women are actually the best spray painters. They have a steadier hand and a better eye.
Wow. And I can actually validate that, because I've seen a woman in action. I'll mention her name, Yandiswa. She was working at Ford in the paint. She's an engineer, but perfection.
Absolutely.
On another level. I think it's just the precision that comes, that's, I think, built into our DNA. So, and also a bit of the OCD. So yeah.
What hurts?
So from where you sit as a CEO, how would you describe the current state of inclusion in the automotive sector? And when we say inclusion, we're talking about women. And also, are we seeing real progress? Or is there still a gap between what's said and what's actually happening?
So I would say, firstly, we have to acknowledge that we're not where we should be. As a start. Yes, we're making great efforts, we're making good strides, but we're not where we should be. Shows like yours, some of the work that we do, that others do, will help bridge that gap. I think from a stats perspective, the RMI has got 35% women in the company, but like I've said, at an exco level, it's 50% women. Our board chair is a woman. Until recently, our vice chair was also a woman. Within the auto sector at large, we're about 30% women in the sector. Global standards about 20%, so we're better than global standards, but that does not mean that that's good enough either. So there's a lot of work to be done to sort of bridge that gap. And I think part of that work are things like I've said, this show, but also things like we have a project called Project Dineo,
which we'll talk about
later. So I'll speak to that as well. But there's certainly work to be done in awareness, but also in the actual tangible things we do to bring women into the sector, to have a better, a more balanced, I think, sector.
Absolutely. So you've been part of the RMI and WIMSA partnership, as I said, for a few years now. And when you sit in that room and watch, sorry, I'm being myself now.
Yes.
I said I'm going
no,
to be myself. That's
be
me.
Yourself.
Myself is a little bit unprofessional, so I'm a little bit intimidated.
Don't be. I'm a clown at home. Relax.
Okay. We human, right?
Absolutely.
So when you do sit in, it just gets me excited because this is the 8th year we are doing it. 8 is my lucky number, by the way. It's my birth number. And the infinity means everything to me. So this is a big year for us.
Yes.
And Dumisani Zwane obviously is leading this campaign this year. So it's his first year. So because Stefano obviously moved, and so we've got a new MC, new leadership team. It's gonna be amazing. We've got Nsiki that. Funny enough, you mentioned Deneo, who was part of Generations of Isidingo, and I've got Nsiki, that was part of Generations of Isidingo. Weird, but anyway, sitting in that room on that evening and watching the woman come up to stage and collect that award, like what goes through your mind in those moments, and especially with women that relay stories. I mean, you were there for 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're powerful. I cry backstage.
Oh, wow. So I mean, I guess similar to you, it's a reminder of how far people have come to get to those kinds of places, those kinds of roles, and those kinds of platforms, right?
Yeah.
And that our country is still not set up to enable people to be easily access some of the work and some of the opportunities and some of the studies and so forth. So it's truly inspiring, and it's truly, for me, a reminder that after we celebrate all these women, following day we need to get back to work in being able to create the environments to allow them to thrive. So it really does, sharpen the focus.
Does it?
Yeah.
When you're sitting there on that evening, do you take something home?
Yeah, I mean, you go and you say, I didn't realize that, for some women to get into the sector is one, they didn't even know it existed. The roles, what were they? When you hear some of the stories, some people kind of stumbled into the sector.
Not 98%, including myself.
Exactly, kind of just sort of. And it's about what are some of the things that we can put in place to fix that. So for me, it's a sharpening of focus.
I'm really happy to hear that, because our audience, when I said 70%, it's not by it's not an intentional move that we have 70% of men. It is just our demographic.
Correct.
We only invite CEOs and MDs and of groups and OEMs, and 99.9% are male.
Absolutely.
So when I say I hope in the future, maybe not in my lifetime, that demographic is going to change as well. We need women in leadership.
Absolutely.
Women are buying the cars, so it's only fair. Yes,
they
52%. We just got in the stats.
They are.
So statistically, 52% women are. 52% purchases of vehicles are women.
And I'd go further to say, if you're married, your wife's probably choosing the car.
There we go. So it's 90%.
I didn't choose my car.
Okay, it's 90.
I didn't choose my car.
Let's re-raise that statistic. And I'm doing it with a very important, high-profile male in the industry. Let's say 95%.
Come on. Happy.
He said happy. Beyond the awards, Ipeleng, there are thousands of women showing up every single day across the industry. And I'm so happy to hear that. Because when I started 16 years ago, it was 40,000 women in the industry. Now, it's 90,000. So, there are thousands of them showing up. What would you say to those who might feel their contribution isn't actually recognized? We can't get to 90,000 people.
No, you can't.
And we can only give 36 women awards at the end of the year. Say something to those 90,000 women.
So I would say, one, you wake up before doing anything worthy. You don't have to prove your point. You don't have to prove anything at work. You're already worthy. And I think that's so important, because a lot of people, a lot of women, especially in sectors where there are very few of them, might struggle with feeling like they belong or that they're worthy. I think that's the most important message. And then I'd say, two, is be yourself, be your authentic self.
Yeah.
There's a reason why God created men and women. There's a reason why we need both in the workplace. There's a reason why we need the diversity of views. That's what will make our businesses, our sector, and our country a lot better. And then thirdly, I guess, is try to have fun. The world is a very serious place.
Yeah.
It's a very challenging place. Try to have fun within your organization, within your corporate. Join other NGOs and non-profit companies that advocate for women. There's many of them. There's yours. There's so many of them as well outside of the sector. And I think it's important that you become also part of those conversations, so you can see that others are going through similar things as well.
Absolutely. And when we talk about accelerating change, what does that actually look like in practice, Ipeleng?
Yeah.
Because and what should corporates and industry bodies be doing differently right now?
Got you. I think the first one is, if you roll back all the way to policy, I believe in system solutions and then individualized solutions. So if you think about the South African Automotive Master Plan, which is a government's policy or strategy on our automotive sector, drafted about 2018, give or take, and it's a strategy to 2035. It's silent on gender, which is crazy. It's got everything else, right? It's got skills, it's got localization, it's got all of these great pillars. It's even got transformation, but it's silent on gender. So it's about, as leaders and organizations, starting to be intentional and pushing those things. The good news is the DTIC has heard us, so that policy is being reviewed, and of course there'll be a lens on gender as well. So we should first deal with, at a macros environment, how do we make sure that the right things are in place to drive that behavior? The second thing is, to leaders and corporates, is to be intentional. Set yourself some very ambitious and very hard targets in whatever initiatives you have, in whatever you're doing in your staffing, in whatever you're doing, even in how you construct your buildings and so forth. Be very bold, be very ambitious, and push the other men, if it's mainly men in the room, on these things, the same way we do at our board meetings. That's the only way that you're gonna start seeing that change, right? And when you start having women being more and more involved and active in more senior roles, then that change sort of gains momentum, and then it just sort of carries on by itself from there. So yeah, that'd be my message.
Yeah, wow. There's a few snippets of your message that I had to zone into.
Yeah.
I saw the engineer in you, and now I realize why we need an engineer in your position. That, to drive change and to become the catalyst for this positive transformation that we want to see as women in motoring South Africa. We need Ipeleng. We need you. So please don't leave us anytime soon, okay?
Will do.
It's challenging. I'm here for 16 years. But I'm still
here.
I'm still here.
Absolutely.
You know what? As this industry, you came, you saw a hybrid in my yard.
I saw. Very nice.
I'm test driving 3 cars per week now.
Oh,
because,
lovely.
We have a lot of female purchasers, as I said,
yes.
And they want to hear our opinion as women drivers or women journalists. As this industry is shifting, Ipeleng, with technology and sustainability, what kind of leadership do you believe is needed to move us forward in a way that's both inclusive and impactful?
The word I would choose is thoughtful. You need to be quite a reflective person as a leader. If you don't reflect on what did I do wrong, what did I do right? Could I have handled that differently? You don't get better, and then the organizations don't get better, and then we don't show inclusivity and all those things. And I guess part of being thoughtful is thinking about, if today we think we are to some extent constrained, but technology is beginning to emerge. We've seen the rise of artificial intelligence, which is quite hectic, I think.
And scary for journalists.
And scary, right? We've seen the rise of new energy vehicles, right? What kind of new opportunities and new businesses begin to emerge that women could dominate? Maybe say for this part of the sector, this is dominated by women because it's new, right? We're not trying to change an imbalance. We're building from scratch. As an example, if you think about new energy vehicles, I was at a auto mechanic in Germany, which is like I'm sure you know it. It's a big show that deals with automotive. That's the one. That's the one. So I'm sure everyone else knows it as well. But part of the technology we saw is the ability, instead of changing out the entire battery of an electric vehicle, you take out the battery and only change or repair the one module in the battery. Right? So take out the battery out of the car, take out the module, repair the module or replace the module and put the battery back into the vehicle. Instead of spending, I don't know, 180,000 on a brand new entire battery, now we're spending 20,000, 18,000 on the module, right? Wow. Fixing all the voltages, making sure the battery's all balanced, all the cool engineering stuff that goes with it. I'm sorry, my nerd is coming out. But that's the kind of technology and kind of opportunities that begin to emerge that don't exist in South Africa, that other markets are beginning to use. So I think as leaders as well, the more we expose ourselves, the more we expose women in the sector to those opportunities, they can start bringing those ideas and building businesses here in South Africa that can be predominantly women-based.
And after that question, I'm so chuffed with myself because I just watched The Big Bang Theory for the second time. Now I understand.
That's my favorite show, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
I love that show.
I watched Young Sheldon.
Yes, me too.
For the second time, and then I went back to Big Bang Theory. So now I understand the module you're talking about and removing from the battery. And so thank you so much for that. And yes, Messe Frankfurt Auto Mechanica we are part of some of the initiatives as well, and they are huge supporters.
Excellent.
We actually have the festival of motoring.
Oh, I see it. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
Yes, and I will be in Germany, in Frankfurt in June. We're doing 6 countries, including Italy, where a woman in motoring South Africa was invited to represent. And I'm taking my daughter with because I believe a young woman should be exposed to it. Yeah,
absolutely.
So you've introduced, not yourself personally, as an organization, I believe, Women Driving Change.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to laugh there because I emceed one of the events and I did not mess up, but really I was not prepared for that, and I was so honored to have been an MC for that event.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about, what that is and what you're hoping to achieve? Because personally, I feel you're doing very well with the event.
Yeah.
It's still here. Yeah. There's many awards events for women that had started and fizzled out, and there's many events like that. Women Driving Change, I think. Yes, Women Driving Change that has started and fizzled out. But I think it's now 6 years going. And it's still there, and thank you. Thank you for keeping it, and thank you for keeping it going. But what is it that you are hoping to achieve with it?
Fantastic. I mean, when I joined the organization, I said this is a fantastic initiative. And I said, firstly, let's put more money into the initiative.
I love you already.
Let's put better resources into it. And then 2, I said, it started off extremely well because what it did is it created a platform for conversations to be had and for women to share those conversations and experiences. And then I said to the team, to take it further, we need to do a couple of things. 1, women themselves alone can't change the environment. So we need to hold men accountable and bring them into the room as well. Last year, there were 4 men in the room. One of them was our training director.
Okay.
The other 3 were CEOs in the sector. As myself. It is the CEO of Mesita, which, as everyone knows, is the training authority for everything in our sector, mechanical and so forth. And the third is the CEO for WNR CETA, which is wholesale and retail CETA. And it is about how do we listen and understand and then begin to make changes afterwards that can impact, like I said, at a systems level, because that's how my brain works, right? At a bigger scale. So it is about that. And then lastly, it is about beyond us having conversations and us relating and understanding, it was about, let's talk about actual impact. What are the things we're going to put in place over the next 12 months to be able to say, last year this time we spoke about these things. Now this is where we are. For example, how do we go about, and I think we'll talk about it as well, how do we go about attracting women to the sector and retaining them? How do we go about dealing with helping women become business owners in the sector, not only employees. Because as you know, our organization represents businesses in the sector, 8,500 of them. How do we begin to shift the demographic to be more women in the sector? I in fact asked the team, they're doing a sprint to figure out the exact proportion of shareholding of women in the sector. Let's figure it out, right? Let's do the stats so we know the base from which we're starting from, not only in employees, but in ownership, in running their own businesses, running their own workshops, dealerships, and all of those things. So really, women driving change, which is, I think, well named, I guess, apt name. It's about how do we begin to drive that change across the board, whether it's as an employee or as an employer as well.
I love that. And then with we were talking about it earlier on, and I know you were very excited about it. Project Dineo. There's a clear target of bringing in 40% of young women. Okay, so how important is that goal, and what kind of impact do you hope it will have on the future of this industry?
Absolutely. And I mean, it started with, it's funny how things go. Not last year, December, the year before. Okay, my team says, why am I making them work hard in December? Sorry, it's a great time to start thinking about stuff because it's a bit of a quiet time.
Yep, it is.
So I said to the team, well, one, it cannot be that in South Africa we have a youth unemployment problem, right? 50% youth unemployment. Yet on the other side, our members are saying they're desperate for skills. And it cannot be that we have 30% women in the sector when we know that in South Africa there are more women than men. So I said, how do we solve these issues all together, all at the same time, right? Difficult challenge. So we sat in the boardroom, and there was an intern, our intern Dineo, who's now no longer an intern, she got promoted, was there. And actually we named the project after her, right?
I was going to ask, but thank you.
and I guess we said, well, to solve the problem, shouldn't we create a program that's quite intentional about youth unemployment and women and young people and all together? So we went and we said, okay, how do we go about doing that? One is we need to find a way to attract people to the sector, young people to the sector. So what we do is we go to technical high schools across the country in a show called Motor Make, which exists, which is primarily focused on workshops. And we run a competition. It's like a whole day thing. Parents are there, the teachers are there. I don't know how many people were at the launch in June, maybe like 2,000 people were there. And it was about exposing young people. We get our members to display their stuff, some of people who supply into the sector to display stuff, whether it's gearboxes, brakes, clutches, whatever it might be. And at the end of the competition, we have a car. We say, here's a car. We've put 3 faults on the car on purpose. Get the car to start. And the young women get the car to start, which is amazing, right? And then that's how we get the top talent into the program. So the target is 100 women a year, 100 people a year, young people a year, of which 40 need to be women, that we attract into the program. It's quite funny, at one of these shows, because they're across the country, somebody asked me, where did you get pink overalls for the young ladies? I said, you can't buy a pink overall. We bought blue overalls and we dyed them pink.
Wow, I love that.
So if you have a business idea, that's a business idea.
Oh, right? Please.
And then, so it's attracting them. And then, of course, we then choose the top talents, the most passionate, the most engaged. And then, of course, we place them at different colleges across the country, close to home.
I love that.
Which is funded by Mesita. Hence, that's why I said earlier, you have to get other people, because you can't do everything by yourself. You have to partner, right?
Yes.
Mesita funds their tuition and their stipends and all of those things. And then afterwards was, okay, but they have to have practical experience.
Yep.
We've got 8,000 members, so you need to connect them somehow to these members. I mean, you're young enough to know Tinder, all right? So it's a bit of a Tinder for young people. Connect these young people.
Am I young enough? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Connect young people to all of these jobs, all right? Through something called Harambe, which is a platform, a matchmaking platform for connecting young people.
I love that.
Yeah,
didn't think about that.
You should have Harambe on your show one day. They're absolutely amazing. They do amazing work. And then, of course, this is in a formalized way to be able to do all these crazy connections. I like to do them manually. In the beginning, manual is okay, but I'm a systems person. So later on, it needs to be somehow integrated. and then to place them at our members, right? Our members, to train them, to educate them, to uplift them. And then at the end, nothing more painful than studying but not being able to find a job.
Right.
And once again, through the same platform, through those matchmaking platform, to ensure that they get placed with a job at one of our members.
Okay.
It's the best. Our sector is one of the best and easiest paths to go from not even a matric to being a technician, to being an artisan, to eventually being a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the long-term path and journey for that program.
Thank you. Thank you. And please note that we have been doing this since 2018 with the assistance of MFC, a division of Nedbank, and Sariti Solutions. We have recruited over 1,000 young women in every province through workshops like the one you talked about. We continue to do so. The dealerships that get involved in the program invites up to 40 young women in matric and recruits them.
It's amazing.
So we have been doing this, just we haven't gotten the Tinder part right.
The matchmaking service.
Because I'm not an engineer thinking, but that is very interesting too. And I would also like to talk to some people that will provide those pink overalls.
Absolutely, that'd be fantastic.
I think that should be a number one priority for me going forward. So thank you for bringing that, because I know someone that knows someone that knows. I'm connected.
Please do, yeah, we need them.
And it's important that those are little details, again, as you said earlier on, females, women think about the little details that men necessarily don't think about. So I'm thinking along those lines now. Look, Ipeleng, as I mentioned earlier to you, we are running out of time for this year in terms of interviewing people, but the last time we had Michael Mabasa, and we could not even invite Dumisani Zwane, who's heading up our projects this year, or Leroy Potgieter, but we needed at least one male. So we chose someone that we believe has a voice and can be able to encourage other men to become catalysts for this positive transformation that we want to see for women in the automotive sector. And to close, what could the future look like, and what is your message for these very young and not so young sometimes aspiring women looking to enter our dynamic sector?
Fantastic. I think I'd say to them, one, the sector is broad, so the opportunities are absolutely endless, right? Whether you want to be technical, you want to be in finance, or you want to be in management, this literally entire spectrum is covered. I mean, the sector's got 300,000 people in it, so you belong, there's a place. Two, don't be intimidated. You're probably, if not equal, better than the men in some aspects. Yeah, and I honestly believe that. I keep telling my wife that, you're much smarter than me. I wish I had. She keeps telling me she's going to charge me a fee for all the advice she gives me. So I think women mustn't be afraid of the sector. Huge opportunities for growth, for mentorship. You'll find that generally the sector does, even whether formally or informally, is very good at upskilling and training people and mentoring people. So you'll be well taken care of. Do join.
Thank you. Thank you for validating that. And I also want to say something. My husband, who I really talk about, and you've been at my shows, he stays in the background, but he is serving Altron as a technical person. He's got your engineering mind as well. For the 25th year this year.
Crazy.
Yes, and I believe that all the studies he did via Altron FinTech, who is, they're huge in terms of empowering the employees, belongs to me. Because all of those projects I did for him.
That's how it goes, right?
Okay, I advised him. I wouldn't say I completed the assignments now. I'd be throwing him under the bus. He's very intelligent. His IQ is very high, and a very well-respected individual. So I'm using this opportunity for the first time to talk a little bit about my husband.
There we go.
Because you are here and you're a man, and we just adore and respect men that are truly, sincerely, champions for our growth. So thank you so much.
Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Truly do.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to be myself.
Thank you. No, you have to be. That's the only way to be in life. Right?
So that, because you don't, I can't help staring at your white
Well, my white sneakers.
I mean, your sneakers are as white as, I mean, I've been staring at this entire time. You said we can be ourselves.
Exactly.
And we are very professional, obviously, but we are going to play 30 seconds. You've allowed us to. So let's do it. I mean, after 6 years of hosting the show, it does become a little bit monotonous. So my sponsor said, go for it, Dish, play your 30 seconds. So yeah, 30 seconds, you owe me some royalties. And thank you for letting me use your game. Okay, I'm going to explain to you. I'm not, as I said much earlier on, I'm not very familiar off screen. I said I'm not familiar with movies. I was in Hollywood 2 years ago, and I probably walked past so many stars and I did not know who they were. I should have been to Bollywood rather. Yeah. But so please.
Yeah, I'm also bad, so break it down.
Okay. So all you and I actually know is the Big Bang Theory.
That's it. If it's about that, we'd kill it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then, okay. It was a phone. So yeah, engineering. It was a phone. One of the first that we had when we were...
Nokia?
Yes. There we go. Our... one of the most beautiful airports, but just our airport here in Kempton Park.
Or Tambo?
And then, okay, let's change this up a little bit. Elvis, his daughter's name is?
No clue. Next.
Lisa Marie Presley. Okay, so, oh, you're not gonna know this. I wouldn't know it because it's movies. Ooh, you were born just a little bit north of it.
Pretoria?
Yes, that is it.
You remember it? I'm impressed.
I beg your pardon?
I'm saying you remember. I'm impressed.
Absolutely. I have that mind. Oh, I thought about him when I met you for the first... No, not for the first time, when you walked into the studio. Yes. And I love him to bits. He was born in Soweto. I mean, this man is an international star. He hosted... Now I'm giving it away. The Daily... He's from Soweto.
The Daily what?
The Daily Show. Is it? Yeah.
Oh, is it?
He's a comedian.
Sure, no.
I didn't want to make it that easy.
I mean, otherwise could have been. It was very hard to. Yeah, Daily Show's a giveaway.
Yeah, it's a giveaway. Okay, you have kids, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the babies eat these little things in these glass bottles.
Eat these little things in these glass bottles. So
like it's fruity and there's vegetables in it and it's processed.
Purity?
Yes.
Oh.
Not chicken licken, which is my favorite, by the way.
KFC.
Yep.
I like chicken licken as well, by the way. I prefer chicken.
Are you me too?
Yeah, Saturday.
Do we have actually a lot in common?
Saturday's chicken licken day.
Yeah, I love it. Is it because of the hot sauce?
The hot sauce, yeah.
Ipeleng, we need to meet with our families off screen, out of business, and just go to chicken licken.
Absolutely.
Okay, Serena is a tennis player.
Yes.
She's got a sister.
Yes.
And yes, there we go. See? So we're not just good at engineering. One more.
I'm ready.
Gosh. Let's not go there. Let's not go there either. Oh my gosh. We in the business of?
The automotive sector.
Okay. Let's make it simpler. I'm in the business of?
I don't know, selling cars.
The second word?
Cars.
That's it. I made this easy for you.
You did.
I'm just reminding you.
Thank you. Don't make me look bad in public.
Let's go. Your turn.
Okay. Oof. I wonder if you remember this. Before DSTV, there was a channel that had like all the primetime movies and you had to pay for it.
We used to pay for it?
Yeah.
Before DSTV?
Before DSTV.
It's not ETV?
No, before that. It was a subscription.
SABC, no?
No, it's got...
oh, I know, Mnet.
Correct. You've got it. Okay, you don't do sports, hey?
I do.
Cricket player, India, captain, batsman for a long time.
My God, the guy with the M, right?
Not that guy, another guy.
I love that guy. Oh my God.
Okay, skip.
Okay, well, give me his name.
Sachin
Dhoni. Okay.
You remember him, right?
Yeah.
the other part, not Durban, the other nice little city or town in Durban that's not by the coast, but it's also big.
It's not by the coast.
Yeah, it's slightly inland.
Slightly
in KZN.
inland.
Yeah.
Durban, Mhlanga?
Nope.
No.
More inland.
More inland.
Yeah.
St. Lucia?
Nope.
No.
Thinking too. It's got all the little engineering business. It's got the big engineering businesses in it.
Ipeleng not being fair. I'm a journalist.
Okay. Sorry.
What is it?
Sorry. Pietermaritzburg.
Oh my gosh! Why didn't I go more south? Oh no.
Okay. What area is Iran and Dubai in? What is it called?
The Middle East.
Yep.
And that's only because of the war that's happening. By
Absolutely,
the way, geography. Even though I travel a lot, it's not one of the strong ones. No.
What is the awards for movies called?
No.
The American.
The Grammys are for singing, right?
Which one is singing? Which one is movies?
The MTV Awards.
Not Grammys. The other ones.
The global.
The Oscars.
Oscars.
I would have remembered either, actually.
No, but you isn't the Trevor Noah has the Grammys, right? Okay.
Correct. And then my last one, this one, if between you and I we don't get, we've got a problem. It's a car. Okay. BMW owns the franchise, or they work with the franchise, but it's not a BMW. It's small.
Mini Cooper.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. I think we did well.
Yeah.
I think we did.
I think so
very,
too.
very well. And I love this because it you know what, our industry and the women that are coming into the industry, the young women, need to see that people like you are relatable.
Yeah,
you're a human being that that there should be no fear. 16 years ago when I entered the industry, I faced a lot of discrimination, and that has changed. It has changed for me, and I am seeing the change for other women. And it's not just gender or racial or any type of prejudice that should stop you from wanting to enter the industry, because here we have a man and there's many of them who, unfortunately, like I said earlier, I cannot bring to studio due to time constraint, but here's a man that's telling you, welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And to your point, let's all be ourselves. Life is too short not to be.
You're welcome, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Really appreciate
it. And thank you to the great mom that has raised this man. I think
I'll call him. I'll tell her.
Yes.
I'll call him.
And I will say, because this gentleman is not on social media, you'll find him on LinkedIn. Yeah. We will personally send this interview so his mom and dad can watch what an amazing man they have raised.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. And we extend our gratitude to our viewers, to you, for engaging with our content by watching, commenting, and sharing our interviews, our non-profit initiatives, including the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, which Ipeleng is a huge fan of, and that's powered by MFC, a division of Nedbank, for the 8th year running, and the Talk the Talk Studios, supported by Sariti Solutions, which we are in partnership with now for 7 years. We are all focusing on honoring and celebrating the woman in the South African motoring industry. In fact, the automotive industry. We've added one more category that specifically focuses on the automotive sector, which is after sales.
Absolutely.
So our mission goes beyond storytelling and playing 30 seconds. And we strive to make a positive impact on lives. Together, we are dedicated to empowering and uplifting women within our industry. Ladies, today on the 8th of April, 8 being a very special number for me. It's my birth date, and it's also the infinity sign that I always use on my captions. And Ipeleng is here by coincidence, actually, on the 8th. Wow, didn't think about that. But being the 8th, I would like to leave you with a very special, powerful message. I want to remind you that leadership is not defined by title, but by impact.
Yep.
It's about the decisions you make, the standards you uphold, and the way you create opportunities, not just for yourself, but for others around you. When you're sitting at that table in a powerful position, it's that crucial moment that you make space for others. And the future of the automotive industry is being shaped by those who are willing to think differently, collaborate, and build with purpose. And there is space for every woman to lead, influence, and leave her mark. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep showing up with intention, just as Ipeleng has done today. And as always, I would like to remind you that the question should never be who's going to let me. It should always be who's going to stop me.